I think we're good. Oh, of course. Jesus Christ, of course.
You struggling there, mate?
Well, you know that thing where I was struggling to get it to do what I wanted it to? It's doing that again. I'm gonna have to fucking clip this now. Shit. Editing on YouTube is pretty easy though, luckily. Please allow me to... There we go. Sweet. I maybe won't have to clip it. How's everything looking? Can you see now? Are you there?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. Apologies to everyone. When I put it on YouTube, I'm going to have to put it in two parts. I don't think I'm going to edit it, though, because that's too much of my time. What were we talking about? Were we stopped between movies? Oh, Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
quite a few in a row that you're gonna know that I'm not. So I'm gonna go grab some water and you can move on until Arrival hits, I believe.
okay. I have to pee, so somehow we're going to have to juggle that. I'll pick one that you'll, you know. So as I was saying about Inside Llewyn Davis, I was giving you a little bit of background on the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan. Um, Big Lebowski, Fargo are the good movies. There's also Burn After Reading, which is kind of a weird, not so great. But Inside Llewyn Davis is kind of a movie about the folk revolution in New York. Um, Llewyn is kind of this down in his like loser's couch surfer. He gets his best friend's girlfriend, Carrie Mulligan, pregnant. Um, Carrie Mulligan and him were actually both in Drive as well, which is pretty cool. But he's just trying to play his music, and folk music isn't really the kind of meta music at the time. He's just kind of bumming around, trying to make it work, and he wants to make music his living, but he needs to get money to help her get an abortion. He needs to get money just to live, and he gives up um, music, and I think he goes to the Navy actually. But like right at the end, he gets kicked out of a club, and you can see Bob Dylan playing in the background. So it's like folk music in the '60s was just about to take off, and just because Lewin, unfortunately, consistently is just kind of a loser. He continues to be a loser. He was this close to being a part of that huge folk music revolution. I'm trying to think some other artists: Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, um, a lot of guys from like the anti-war and the anti like nuclear war movements were in there. Commu- Communists, um, typically in their political leanings, but I think it's kind of a cool. It's a cool snapshot of that kind of time period that's influxed with fiction, which I think it almost does a better job than that of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which to some people who lived during the time, they felt like it was kind of cool to see kind of old commercials redone and stuff, but or like old TV shows, but I wasn't buying into it as much as other people. But this is a pretty good movie. Oscar Isaac is a star. The music in this movie is really, really good. They played like some old songs, like folk songs, because this is a folk revival of the '60s that play really well with their voices. Oscar is a very talented man. Um,
All right.
I'm gonna slap Birdman on here real quick, which you haven't seen as well. I'm gonna put it in gray as well. It could go higher if you're into that. Um, a little bit too. What's the director's name? I gotta look at that. Birdman. Okay. Oh, Alejandro. Oh, Inarritu. He has made other great movies. None are coming out of the top of my head right now, and I could have just looked. But cinematography, I think that's where it shined, is the directing. Um, a lot of big names in this movie too, but the kind of claustrophobic movement through the back of stages and stuff is just really cool. And they did a good job directing. I can't remember the finer points of the movie. Kind of cool that it's also kind of about Michael Keaton, about how he was Batman, and then his career just kind of hit the doldrums, which is kind of what happens with this character here. Um, I'll have to watch it again to like look for more themes and things like that. I kind of missed it. I hadn't had like more training in screenwriting at that point, so I'll have to give it another shot. But it just didn't do it for me. At the end of the movie has kind of a weird, not really concrete ending, at least in my opinion. I'll have to give it another shot, but right now I'm saying it's great. Where is one that you have only seen, Colin?
You haven't seen Parasite, right?
No, you want to take care of that one? I'll run the
I
rest.
mean, I can.
Where should I set it?
I think you can just put it in great. I don't know how this won Best Picture, being completely honest.
Do you think it was a weak movie year because it was COVID?
I don't know.
Or was the year
Um,
before that?
so Parasite's literally just nothing more than, I think they call it like basically like frogging, where people are just staying in somebody else's house, without them really knowing. Uh, but I mean, like it's kind of like that, but they just take over like other people's lives. Like it's weird. Um, Basically, family members just the whole family, and they just basically get hired by one family to do different jobs, and are just like basically slowly taking over their lives. It's very weird. Um, Again, I don't really know how this won Best Picture. Um, I don't
I
I
think
don't know
it's.
why, but
Sorry,
I
go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw this movie literally like shortly after it won Best Picture with Kirsten. Um, and I don't particularly remember the ending,
Yeah, I
being
mean,
completely honest, but
I can't help you there. I think it's a
but
pretty cool idea, though.
they just insert themselves into his family's lives, just like the entire family, just like, oh, I know this person that's great for the job, and it's just another family member, and they act like they don't know each other, and um, the housemaid, that the lives that they took over of her actually had like a husband that like owed money to like the mob or some shit, and he was living in a secret fucking room in the basement. Um, and when the lady finds out that they're like all family after she comes back to try to feed her husband who's been in the basement, she tries to tell the family, and then they try to beat the shit out of the woman. And they kill her, and then the husband is still down there. He goes batshit crazy and finds a way to get out, and like kills the son, and it's just it's wild.
That's kind of a crazy way of
Absolutely,
describing the entire movie. Things are
yeah,
happening. Let's just leave it in great. I think it's a cool
a
concept.
wild movie.
I kind of feel like
It was.
my uncle is
Again,
doing
I
that to
don't
my dad. He's a parasite.
I don't see how it won Best Picture. I really don't. But it was a good movie. Like, kept us entertained.
Um, I'm putting Arrival in good for the moment. I just I there's very few movies that happens where this happens, but I watch it and I just really kind of went like, what's the point of this?
Wasn't there like different like futures or some shit in this movie?
That yeah, like it tried to like have like parallel universes or some horseshit. It was just like
Hmm.
this is like one of the movies that did that the worst, and I don't understand why they felt the need to kind of like make it more than it was. No, it was just like so enamored with itself that it just like thought it was really cool with ever actually having real substance. It was just kind of weak for me. Um, it's like one of those
Yeah,
another
and
one like where you take a rock and you throw it in the water, it just sinks to the bottom. It's just like okay,
I love sci-fi, and I was really excited for this movie, and they just didn't do it. Kind of like The Martian with Matt Damon. I was super pumped to go see that, and I saw it in theaters, and I was just like, what the fuck?
dude, it won best
Like,
comedy I think at was it the Golden Globes? People were like what?
The Martian?
Yeah, they're like what? Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna head out.
yeah, it was really weird. I think it was best comedy or musical. Yeah, yeah.
I do like Amy Adams though.
Um, She's a pretty lady. The weird thing is, like, I feel like she only got really big when she got like in her mid to late 30s, maybe like early 30s. And so like she's still very pretty. She just I think she's showing her like her face and stuff so looks a little bit older. Um, redheads, dude, they own Hollywood. Um, Inglorious Bastards.
I don't think I've seen this in full.
Say that one more time.
I don't think I've seen it in full.
I've seen it a couple times. The first scene of Inglorious Bastards with Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz steals the show in this one again. I don't think it's any better than Django. I think it's about the same. I think it's great. I just don't think there's anything inherently like special about it. It's kind of like an alternate history thing, which apparently Quentin likes to do. It's violent. I don't know. Yeah, it's good. I don't know what the French actress name is in this movie, but she's in the movie The Beginners and a couple other things. She's mostly in a lot of French stuff, but she's extremely good, and she's just a great actress overall. But not. I just don't see it as like the best of Quentin's work. It's just like good. He doesn't exactly lose anything for having made it, but it's not his best work, so it's not going to be put up with the best. All right. So
I don't think you can put it in masterpiece,
no,
but I think it's amazing.
Yeah. First time I saw it, it's once again one of those ones that just tries to awe you with its concept, which at times it did. It's just like, wow, this just.
I think the
blew my
special
mind.
effects for the time were fucking insane, though.
Like the city folding
Like the
in on
bending
itself.
city. Yeah.
Which I think they just kind of like shot the camera down on like a diorama, and like manipulated it, so it's a forced perspective thing. I don't know about that, but I think it's one of the movies that actually does like a cliffhanger correctly.
Where literally like nobody can give you an answer on it.
Right, and it'll keep you thinking and questioning and talking to your friends and that kind of thing. I hate it because it allowed what's his name to become more prominent in acting. That movie and The Warrior.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
god, he's got the acting like
Wait, hang on.
acting ability of a rock. I think
Are you talking about?
I think you like him. I don't. He's just so one-dimensional.
Are you talking about Tom Hardy?
Yeah, it's so one-dimensional. It's just like
I love Tom Hardy.
he's a nothing. Yeah. He's nothing. Like, could he play like a drama or something? I don't think he would. I don't think he can cry. I think he's incapable of crying. He just sits there with a dumb fucking look on his face all the goddamn time. I don't know. Like that movie and Warrior kind of made him into like a thing. And they did like more serious films. I guess Inception kind of is, but like The Drop and stuff. And I just wasn't. I'm just not into him at all. But Cillian Murphy's in that one too, so that's good.
Just curious.
A lot of good acting in it.
I think this started Joseph Gordon-Levitt too. Like, there was like a string I feel like after this where he was in like every movie known to man.
He did that one with the bicycle. He wrote down one. Yeah, he did a lot of things in a row.
And with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie is good, not great. I think as you watch it more and more, it loses some of its luster. You know, like when you saw it the first time, you had the Hans Zimmer boom going off in your ears. You're holy shit, this is hype, and then it's got all this high concept stuff, and but you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's definitely top tier. You know, it's like better than.
I love movies that leave you with that ending where you're just like, you just keep thinking to yourself. Like that's why I liked Interstellar, Inception. It's the same thing like with the tier list with the Bioshock Infinite. Like the ending to that took me. I think we discussed that for like a hot minute to like fully try to understand it. And
yeah, I think it was pretty good for its time. The problem is, I don't think that like now it's as like mind blowing, and that's the problem with these narratives. You got to like do something really outside the box to really
And
outside
that
the
doesn't happen
something
a lot
that's
anymore.
outside the box but really tight. Like where it's deep but not like uh, there's no holes. And sometimes I think some of this proves that it's really hard to do. Anyway,
Hmm.
um, Baby Driver. I'm gonna put it in amazing.
That was a movie that I saw the fucking like preview for, and I was just like, who cares? Like, what? And then again, on your recommendation, watched it and was very pleasantly surprised. Pretty
Um,
much everything about that movie worked.
that one chick that's dating John Hamm in the movie. Oh, smoking. She's also in that shitty Godzilla movie. John Hamm, I was impressed by his acting. It was like kind of a different level for him. He's usually just like the good-looking guy, and this he was pissed and angry and tried to kill people. It was great. Um, uh, Ansel, Hort, whatever the fuck his name is good. His girlfriend, I could take her or leave her. Um, the movie's story was good. It's exciting. Um,
Does have a man we're not allowed to talk about it anymore as well.
so part of the problems is that he was not getting jobs because he kind of doesn't fit into any sort of mold, right? Because like he's not like attractive, he's not like old enough. He can't be an action star. He's just a he is Kevin Spacey is just really an incredible actor, and there's no two ways about it. The problem is he's also a pervert, I guess. Um, it's kind of weird because with like Me Too stuff, it not only tumbled the um, straight heterosexual oversexed overpaid people, but that were doing for females. It also got it pulled Kevin Spacey out of the closet too, right? Which kind of it just I mean I don't even know if he's doing anything at all anymore. And
I
not
don't think he's allowed to do anything anymore. So
I mean it's not he's not in jail, so someone
no,
could
but
hire.
I'm pretty sure he's basically been blacklisted from Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean he was kicked off of House of Cards, right? Um,
Uh, I actually just looked it up, and he has a recent report of sexually assaulting a House of Cards production assistant and did a song and dance number during a sexual harassment deposition. So
I say this in the best way possible. That is the gayest thing I've ever heard. Good. I mean, like, you know, I think like everyone kind of knew about Kevin Spacey being gay. Just like it's like one of those things, like you know, but no one ever says anything. I feel like there's been a lot of people in Hollywood that have been like that,
hmm.
um, uh, but yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, but he's a gifted actor, albeit a shitty person, obviously. But
Mhm.
um, enough with that. Boyhood. I'm putting that in don't care. It's just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick with no substance. It's just like, hey, we're just gonna. I mean, he literally did it. Look at this, 3 times before midnight, before sunset. He did it 3 times. Richard Linklater. Why do you want to watch it again? This movie was like considered like greatest movie of the year type shit, and I just wanted to sleep. There's no original feelings here. There's nothing new. It's just the bullshit. I don't want to talk about it
I mean,
anymore.
it was the first movie that was ever filmed with like the same actor over his entire life, though, wasn't it?
But with Before Sunset and Before Midnight, it's the same thing. But like with it's always fucking Steven. What's his name? Ethan Hawke. It's always fucking Ethan Hawke. Why is it always Ethan Hawke? I think he made these movies like all at the same fucking time. Just
Ugh.
fucking Ethan Hawke. Okay, I really don't want to rank these Captain America movies, but I guess we have to.
Can we
Captain.
just put them in either good or don't care? Especially Civil War. Civil War can go straight into don't care.
I don't think so. I think Civil War's kind of good. I think The
Hmm.
Winter Soldier has to probably go into don't care or hate it. That movie's bad. It's not good.
So are we putting the first Civil War in the first one up there?
Yeah, the first one. No, there's Winter Soldier and there's Civil War. That's what we
Oh,
have.
why is the first one not there? Okay.
I do not know, but I can only tell you what we have. Uh, Without question, Winter Soldier is the worst one. Without question, it's a piece of shit movie. It was like a bridge from 1 to 3, and Bucky's not interesting and all that kind of shit. So I hated this movie. I don't know if you want where you want to put it, but I hated it.
I'm okay with it. I didn't enjoy Civil War either, but
We'll just put it in good and call it a day. I think that Civil War showed how much more interesting Iron Man is than Captain America. So I like that. Okay, Casino Royale. Really, really, really like this movie a lot until the last 30 minutes. Last 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is, it's just a fucking joke. They're like, okay, so the actual movie is over, and it's exciting. He's a great Bond. All this cool stuff with the cards, with the fighting, with the chicks, with the fucking cars. Everything's so cool. And then they're like, okay, so we got to kill your girlfriend now, and to set up for the next movie, and it's kind of awkward to do it in the next movie, so we're going to do it at the end of this movie. And also the bad guy, Mads Mikkelsen, who's an excellent actor, he's just all of a sudden going to get carried away, and we're going to kill him or something. It's just a fucking mess.
I think this is the only new Bond movie I've seen, and I saw it when it first came out, so I really don't remember a lot about it.
You haven't seen Skyfall?
Uh, I saw the one where they went and were like in the cabin at the very end.
It's not. I think it's in Scotland, so it's not a cabin. It's his home. It's called Skyfall. That one is the best one. Okay,
Yep.
I thought you were going to say something, but anyway, I think it's great, but it has a lot of issues. He's so good. The movie's so good. It's till the end. It's just bad. Um, Children of Men.
I've not seen Children of Men.
I thought that was the one you said you had seen, so I'm going to put it in haven't seen because I haven't seen it. All right. Donnie Darko. Have you seen Donnie Darko? Have I made you see it? I think I've made you see it.
Yeah, you made me watch it with you.
The inclination is to put it into either amazing or masterpiece. I think. So it's oddball is shit. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. Interesting time travel narrative that's unique. It's funny. It's offbeat. Like kind of independent-y. I think it like things like the movie Lady Bird and like Wes Anderson movies try to be like this kind of offbeat thing, and it doesn't really buy it. I think this did it right. It's one of my favorite movies, so I'm very biased. I think it's kind of a once in a lifetime movie. And I think it probably did worlds of things for Jake Gyllenhaal's career, and the movie wouldn't have even gotten made unless Drew Barrymore put up the money. She put up the money to produce it, so it's pretty amazing in that regard too. However, the guy who wrote this movie and I think directed it also wrote The Box, so that alone kind of
Box.
with Cameron
Box.
Diaz,
I'm gonna have to Google that.
the one where you get the box at your door, and if you press it, you get like $1 million, but somebody dies, but it's just the last person with the box.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So we're gonna leave it in amazing. It's I think it's a masterpiece, but in terms of like big picture, we're gonna be pretty conservative. All right, you want to talk about Dunkirk? I have
I
plenty to
didn't
say.
watch
But...
Dunkirk.
Oh. Like, so it's supposed to be like really good, right? But all it is just like once again, and this is just Christopher Nolan's fucking thing. There's always a gimmick. There's always a gimmick, and it either works out or it doesn't. And this one, I don't think it does. It's just like there's no like character development at all. You're just in a camera at the fight of Dunkirk, and you just like you're with this guy, then you're with that guy. Now you're in the plane. Now he's gonna get captured because his plane ran out of fucking gas. These guys are sinking in a ship, It's just like it's not a movie. It's like Christopher Nolan would be like, it's not a movie, it's an experience, but it's just a bad movie. Like it might be breathtaking in terms of its achievements, but it's just not good in terms of being a movie. I don't know. I'm not going to put it hated it, but I just don't care to rate it because it's just nonsense, to be honest. And so you can call me, stupid or whatever, but in terms of cinematic filmmaking, it is just it's more supposed to be just make you awestruck. And I'm so sick and tired of Christopher Nolan just wanting me to be awestruck all the goddamn time. It's okay. Oh, where are we putting Guardians of the Galaxy, Colin?
Probably just slap it in good.
Ooh, I would have put it in great.
I mean, like, I'm okay with it in great as well, but it's just like...
As long as you agree never to mention anything about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we can go into great. That movie just needs to be, like, destroyed. Like, permanently from the existence of the world. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is funny, it's got good characters, it's got a heart. I fucks with it.
I do low-key like the soundtrack, but...
Well, he and the guy from Baby Driver, I believe, are really close friends, and they have, like, this, like, thing where they try to, like, make music in the movies and, like, make it like, ooh, we're so knowledgeable, and it's just like them sucking off their own dicks. I don't care for that as much. The music is fine. It's not, like, incredible or anything. It's fine.
Well, fuck you.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't have brought up the movie because they're literally sucking their own dicks. I don't know what this is. This Avengers?
I think that's the first one.
No, we already ranked the first one. It's Avengers.
I think that's Infinity War then. Because I think I see Thanos in the very background of it.
I think there's Thor and then Thanos behind him. Yeah. What's going on with these two
That's
people? Well, I don't even remember what even happens.
Infinity War is the end where he snaps and everybody's dead.
Well, yeah, so he's getting all the stones?
Yeah, he got all the stones, and he snapped his fingers.
Is this where Gamora kills herself? Or no, he throws her in the thing.
Yeah, he throws her ass.
I don't remember enough about this. Like, at all. I think it's just good because it didn't leave, like, a lasting impression. Do you agree? Although it does have Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I stuck it in Amazing with the other two, but...
You're going to put it in Amazing?
I mean, you have the first one and Endgame in Amazing.
Right, because they're good.
And you don't think that this one's good?
Not as good as those two, no. I'll move it up to great if you want me to, but I'm not putting it there. That ain't happening.
Okay, well then put it in great.
I literally don't remember anything about it, so... okay. Have you seen
This is one of your favorite movies. Nope, I owed up.
Oh my god, all the masterpieces you haven't seen so far.
What I do, dude.
I tried to watch this movie probably like a month or 2 months ago because it was before I left to take care of my dad. I just couldn't do it. It's just so sad. Just so incredibly sad. And what's her Scarlett Johansson, she's, a frequent person on this list. She almost won an Oscar for Best Actress being a voice. So that should tell you something. But a little bit of background. So this movie was written and directed by Spike Jonze, who was married to Sofia Coppola. Sofia Coppola directed another one of my favorite films, which is also a real downer. But essentially, she made Lost in Translation, and it was more about how when she got married, the person who she fell in love with and married became a person she didn't know anymore. And the main character is Bill Murray, but I mean, Sofia Coppola, I imagine, is Scarlett Johansson in that movie too, so she's in that movie too. It's kind of like about how her relationship degrades, and then Bill Murray's relationship with his wife degrades, and then for this just short time in Tokyo, they're both feeling this existential loneliness, and they find each other, and they're not meant to like love each other or go on together or something, but they learn something about their lives by being together. And they have this really great scene at the end. They're in the middle of Tokyo. Everyone's walking by. He gives her a big hug. He whispers something in her ear. He kisses her on the cheek and then just walks away forever. But it's kind of like this, like, I think we all have these just fortuitous moments in our lives that are people we meet and it's just passing by and they change us forever. And I think that's what that movie's kind of about. And so anyway, that was long deep into another movie, but Her was kind of Spike Jonze's response. And just an incredible critique on 21st century living. And like he falls in love with an operating system that he keeps on his phone and on his computer. And it's just like how detached we are from each other and from reality and from love and things like that. And his wife broke his heart, and so he's kind of rebounding from that, and how he can't seem to be happy or get out of bed or do things the right way. I mean, it's just like such a great commentary on depression. But once again, he has this experience with this computer, and it ends up, she just goes away at the end of the movie, but it gives him insight into his own relationship and gives him closure. And it's kind of just a journey with this guy from depression to acceptance. And it's unique and sad, but it's also hopeful. And I think, he goes from this guy who sees no future and doesn't want to, do anything. And eventually just kind of like comes to terms with his sadness, which is, it's a good message. Also, one of the things that makes it so horribly sad is that he's in this futuristic job where their job is to write people love letters and stuff. So he's writing all these beautiful love letters, but his life is so loveless. It's just sad. But it really is a lovely movie. And like one of the biggest illusions, it's kind of like if you've ever seen Lars and the Real Girl too. Lars is a lonely guy who buys a blow-up doll, and he makes it into his girlfriend, and then everyone like loves Lars, so they're like, okay, let's just treat her like a real person, and she ends up on like committees, and she's like going on play dates with people and stuff, and they leave Lars at home because they end up like loving her so much, and it's just like this weird like bend in reality, just like we have to like suspend our reality to believe that Joaquin Phoenix's character could love a computer, right? Crazy shit. It's great. I'm going to give you one to talk about. Actually, I didn't realize this was here. And I just talked about Lost in Translation at length, and I too think it's a masterpiece. Should have won Best Picture. But I think it went against Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which you're not going to win that one.
Give me Zodiac, I guess.
Zodiac? Yeah, where do you want to put that?
You can just put it in good, probably.
Why 4? There's a really bad backdrop in that movie.
So it's just like, I think what gets people's attention is just like the mystery behind Zodiac is just like, it's still never been solved. I think they actually just recently solved one of his ciphers, like last year. Never been caught, and I think that's just part of what makes it so interesting and stuff. But I mean, like, it's kind of hard to like write an ending to a movie when you still don't have the guy or know who he is. Like, what?
I think
it just feels like a waste of time.
I think that's a David Fincher movie. So like, how does it end? Do you remember how it ends?
I mean, like, not 100%. Like, I feel like at some point they thought they were on the tracks of the guy, thinking it was a specific person, but it's not. I mean, it's just like nobody knows who he is, and that's what makes it like the least interesting thing is just like nobody knows. I mean, like, and it was long. Like, it's a long movie.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
it's
It's
like
like
almost
2.5 hours.
3 hours long. To get no
payoff,
result. Like, it's just like you're in it for the sole purpose of it's a mystery, and that's it. Like,
do you like movies or TV shows that have like a mystery where you have to keep on guessing and you get turned left and
yeah,
right?
I like it a lot. But if you
Okay,
don't ever get to
Colin.
know, then like,
Colin, go on Hulu, watch Veronica Mars season 1 through 3, and if you buy in, you can watch the movie, which is not very good, and then the last season, which they just made like 2 years ago, which is not as good. But It is one of my favorite TV shows, and it's all about the mystery. It's all about the funny. It's all about the feelies. It is good. That was just my way to segue into that. Um, but it's better than Zodiac. They catch the killers. So,
Yeah,
but
I mean, like Zodiac,
yeah.
it's not bad. It's got a good cast, but it's just like it just feels like it's pointless.
Isn't Mark Ruffalo and is it Robert Downey Jr.? Definitely Mark
It's
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo's in it, but I don't think it's Robert Downey Jr.
Okay. Um, all right. I wanted to give you one because I'm also now going into In Bruges, um, which once again a masterpiece. Okay, so
It's Jake Gyllenhaal. And
oh,
Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
told you, bitch.
I do love Jake Gyllenhaal. Another super
he
underrated
he
actor.
makes some. Actually, what is it called? The Street Crawler.
Nightcrawler. That
Nightcrawler.
shit was wild.
That's a low key banger too, actually. That I don't think anyone
Wild.
really gave him much credit for, but he plays one creepy son of a bitch. Anyway, In Bruges, okay, probably Lost in Translation, In Bruges are in my top ever expansive top 5 of all time. Um, it I want to make sure I give props to the writer, Martin McDonagh. Martin McDonagh is he comes from stage plays. He originally wrote stage plays, and it's you can kind of tell by the way that he makes his movies. He did Seven Psychopaths and Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Colin, have you ever seen Three Billboards?
Or not.
Another one you got to watch. Woody Harrelson is like incredible in that movie. We should start like actually writing these down. But In Bruges, Three Billboards got all the love, but it only got any love because In Bruges is his absolute masterpiece. Colin Farrell, who I do not consider a good actor, knocks it out of the park. But
He's in some weird shit.
um, yes, but also Brendan Gleeson, also fantastic. Basically, they're two hitmen who just got off a job. Unfortunately, Colin Farrell killed a kid, so they're hiding out until they can get their next job. But their boss, Rafe Fiennes, says that Brendan Gleeson's character has to kill Colin Farrell, but Colin Farrell is suicidal, so he's almost going to take care of the job himself. But Brendan Gleeson loves him so much, so he saves him, and then he has a shootout with his boss, and it's just a crazy movie. It seems like it makes no sense on paper. It's hilarious. It's dark. It's action packed and shit. And then it has this really great, like, incredible theme running through it. So I really love movies that have this kind of this existential toss discussion about like the afterlife. And so, and this is I don't even know. I never read anywhere anyone talked about this, but they go to this art museum in Bruges, and it's all art that was done in the Middle Ages that has to do with purgatory. And at the end, Colin Farrell's on a gurney, going to get taken to the doctor because he's been shot, and he just keeps on talking about if he ever gets out of Bruges, he's going to ask for forgiveness from the mother of the kid he killed, and if he can only get out of Bruges. So the kind of like the thrust is that Bruges is his purgatory, and he's stuck there and can't leave. And they kind of make this. He tries to escape several times and can't because he's repenting for his sins. Essentially, he has to. All those things led up to him realizing that he needed to look for absolution from this kid's mother, and it's just such a. The writing is just so brilliant. It's light. It's weird. They have a lot of kind of low blow jokes about midgets in it that are probably not so cool. But I don't know. It's just such a weird, funny, crazy, zany, dark, interesting, lovely written movie. And it is definitely kind of like a deep cut that most people haven't seen that they absolutely should.
I Kirsten and I watched it, right?
Together, what was your
Yep.
approximation?
I found it very hard to get into at first. It was very slow moving, I felt.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, um, it's okay. I personally didn't love it. Um,
Dude, it's a.
I would have.
I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Like Ben and I were watching it together for the first time, and we just kind of looked at each other like, "God damn, this is a good movie." I like
It
always heard
didn't
it was
necessarily do
good.
it for me, but
What was Kirsten's approximation?
I don't think she. I think she stopped paying attention during it, to be
That
honest.
is a shame because it is quite
Yeah.
good. But like, just like the brilliance, like Brendan Gleeson cares so much about him, he's sent there to kill him, and he's gonna do it, and then he puts a gun up to his own head to kill himself, and he stops him. It's absurd. Like it's
Hmm.
absurd, but it ends up being oddly real. Um, Inside Out. That's all you. Inside Out is
I
considered a.
didn't see Inside Out completely.
Oh, okay.
I saw like part of it.
Um, okay. This
Yeah,
is gonna be tough.
it's got like a 9 or 10 on like 9 point something on IMDb. I think it's almost perfect.
I think it's supposed to be like a really good movie for like uh, EBD kids, so like emotional behavior disorder kids, and like try to more accurately describe the struggles with emotion and depression and anger and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't seen it
I
to make that approximation.
I think fucking Joaquin Phoenix's acting in this movie borderline puts it in a masterpiece. Like it doesn't even matter about the story. The acting is so fucking good. Just like Whiplash. You know what I mean?
I had the
But
weirdest sensation seeing Joker. I saw it in theaters, and I don't know what to make of it because it's like this is one of more recently the most like the goal of the screenwriter, who by the way was the director of Hangover movies, was just
it's
like,
weird.
yeah, if you ever see the Hangover movies, he's the guy with the weird afro, and he's always wearing like the jogger suits. He makes appearances in it, but the entire movie is just like, how many times can we take a shit in Joaquin Phoenix's face? It's just like, just
Hmm.
when you think he's had enough, he just one more kick, one more kick, one more kick, one more kick, and it's like, so it's kind of a masterstroke because it's like, I'm about to fucking lose my mind. Like, how does this
Hmm.
guy? How has he not lost it earlier? Um, the weird shirtless dancing, it's so
Hmm.
uncomfortable. But then like I'm in the movie theater, and this is a movie about depression and dark feelings and needing to be medicated and like all these things that are really taboo. And I've seen guys taking their girlfriend to go see it, like as a
Here's that I
date,
went to go see it together.
like as a
Yep.
date. And I'm just
Yep.
like, this is weird, especially since this is stuff that we don't talk about, especially like I would say in general, but I think there's kind of a male stigma attached to that too, where men don't talk about things like that. I think that's kind of like a calling card. Like men, we don't talk about that. But like, yeah, did he win Best Actor for that? He must have, right?
Oh, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's a masterpiece, actually.
I agree. I think the scene where he's in the fucking theater or in the like on the TV show with Robert De Niro when he finally just snaps and fucking puts his bullet through the brain, like doesn't he just sit there too for like a whole ass fucking minute, just
I think he
like
shoots him a couple times, yeah, and then he sits back down while everyone's running out. Um,
just fucking wild.
only one thing that I have a problem with is he says the line, "If I was on the street, you'd walk right over me." I thought it was just whiny. It came off as whiny, but the rest of the movie is just home run. That's
It's
probably the
fucking the saddest shit. It's so
best
fucking sad.
DC movie, and this just like this is what DC needs to learn from their movies. DC does best when they do their movies as dramas. Batman's right. When they try to be
Yep.
Marvel, they just lose. They just
Yep.
lose, and I don't know, like when they make it hyper realistic, um, and just like put us into like this real life, and it's kind of weird, right? Because DC is known as the superheroes who are like the gods. Like they don't even like Marvel characters live in New York City. They're kind of among us. Like Spider-Man is your friendly neighborhood. He changed over, but like Superman from another planet. You know, they're like the gods. But DC, even the Gods Among Us is the DC fucking fighting game, right? But the thing that
Hmm.
makes their movies good is how human they make their characters. It's kind of bizarre. And
And
Batman obviously is the
being
exception, but
being honest, again, this is where like I know you don't want to watch it, but fucking Zack Snyder, took away all of that fucking comedy and shit that they put into the original Justice League, which, again, saw that shit in theaters, almost walked out because it was so fucking bad.
Ezra
Like,
Miller,
same
I
thing with
thought
Suicide
was
Squad.
really bad. I thought Ezra Miller was really bad in those movies. Did you see Birds of Prey?
I did not.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
either.
yeah, I did. I did see Birds of Prey, and it was better. It was better. I didn't hate it. I probably wouldn't want to watch it again if somebody asked me to, but I mean, like, I would put it in like the good or probably good category. But like Injustice or not Justice, she's what the fucking remake of what the fuck I was just talking about. I'm having a stroke.
Uh, the Justice League.
The Justice League. What the fuck? It's he did everything right. Like everything looks better. Um, it's just story's better. There's not. It's just more serious. Like, and I know a lot of people bashed on Batman vs Superman for being so serious. It was just like, but that's all it was. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like it was just like there was no point to it.
Batman
Whereas
versus
this
Superman was
this there
just bad.
was.
It was just bad. There's no.
They did everything right.
Um,
And Steppenwolf's new armor and shit in this movie was way better. I don't know what the fuck they made him look like in the original, but they made him look like an absolute fucking badass in this shit. And then you don't even get to. I don't even think you saw Darkseid in
no, he wasn't even
in
in
the
it.
original. Yeah, and then you get to see all this shit going on. I really hope that they continue. But people did say that Jared Leto's Joker at the end of this movie was like the most legit great Joker thing they've ever seen, and they are super upset that it didn't get, more of a role, and I didn't see it. His laugh was so bad. It was so bad.
Jared Leto has an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor from Dallas Buyers Club. I think that was kind of a weak year for movies, but he did get super fucking skinny for it. But I don't know. Anyway, um,
I think you should give it a chance when you have 4 hours to blow.
I always have 4 hours to blow, but I just don't want to blow it on that. Lady Bird, I don't care. Greta Gerwig and Cyrese Ronan. I like Cyrese. She's in. I don't even know that's how you say her name. I think she's in some good stuff. Greta Gerwig, she made like Little Women and shit like that. It suffers from the same thing as Budapest Hotel. I think I laughed at one thing pretty hard in this movie though. Can't remember what it was, but it's like trying to do this quirky delivery thing, and part of it could be my own. I can't I can't put myself in the shoes of a young woman trying to like come to terms with life and things like that. I mean, there's universal themes of maturation and stuff like that or whatever, which everybody can go through. But I just did not. It's all these movies down here. It just kind of comes and some here, just kind of comes to like I just wasn't buying it. I think it's a pretty okay movie, but it's just so overblown. It's just too much. It's just too much. Then you see it and you're like, wow, this is gonna be really good. It's fine. It's just nothing special, and I just don't care because, um, I just feel like the hype just did not deliver, and maybe that's like what Colin had with like Parasite. I don't know. I didn't see it, but the hype just wasn't. It just didn't do it. Same with Dunkirk. It just I feel like it's a misfire. I don't want to say Lady Bird is a misfire because it's I wouldn't say go to that extreme, but it's certainly not. It didn't have its hooks in me. I'll run through Michael Clayton. I'm going to put in the great category. I can't remember exactly a lot about it. It's kind of a low key movie about. It's a George Clooney movie for sure. He's good. The movie's good. Can't really remember a whole lot about it. I remember I liked it quite a bit, but it's not on this level. Um, Here we got a couple that are kind of interesting. Logan. My initial knee jerk reaction is to put it into amazing.
Logan?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like this was their attempt at seeing if they could copy Deadpool in a way, because Deadpool came out shortly before this, I believe, and people realized like, oh my God, superheroes can do shit that's R-rated and it works. And this went with like it took like the comedy out and made it more serious.
It like tried to
and
DC it,
genuine.
tried to DC it a little bit, but with R rated. I think Joker was R rated too, though. That's later.
Yeah, that shit was wild. But I mean, like the story is pretty good. Like it shows a soft side of Logan in a way. Mr. Wolf, but
Whoa.
it's just fucking. Oh, he 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 just it's completely different. Like it's just completely different from any other movie. Like I can't tell you that I've seen a Fantastic Four, or not Fantastic Four, but
X X Men.
X-Men movie that I've been like, wow, that was good.
You
Like
know,
I have not seen a single X-Men movie where I've been like, yeah, I want to see that again.
so side note here: X Men One and X Men Two, X Men United, also written by David Hayter, who voiced Solid Snake. But
Hmm.
it's just I think so. Also, there's supposed to be parallels with like immigration or something with these kids that he's trying to get over the border. Like it's supposed to be like a
Mm-hmm.
um, commentary on that. I can't really speak to that actually, but um, I think it's definitely really good. It's just it's a direction that they went into that I don't think they can. They're not going to strike gold several times with this direction, but this one was good.
Mm-hmm.
They did have that weird. I think it was a Cadillac, but it was supposed to be from the future, and it just looked like a box. It bothered the hell out of me. It just looked like it was fake.
Um, all I know is that there's a scene in this movie that I still will forever just be like, holy shit. And that's when that little kid's in the forest and all the men are chasing after her, and she just like screams and it like lifts the people into the air, along with like all the debris on the ground, and the man just literally explodes, and it was just absolutely fucking crazy.
I don't remember, but I like the movie a lot. I think I watched it with Mason. I can't confirm or deny it. Mad Max
It just proves that
Fury
it
Road.
proves that you can do R-rated superhero movies and it work
In fact, it
and not need
works
tween
better.
audience.
I think it works better than PG-13 sometimes. And obviously, we're in the R-rated kind of.
I mean, the issue is, like all the little kids want to go see Iron Man and whatnot, but like sometimes like you can take the little kid to see it, but this is the shit where you can't take them, but I think you're still going to get the parents taking the older kids to this, and all the younger adults are going to be more into it than I don't know. I just think it works better.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's kind of like the DC thing. It's like more grown up, or it's supposed to be. Justice League isn't that, but like the Batman movies and stuff, I feel like more grown up. Although you could probably take your kids to go see that. It's a weird thing because we all know that these superheroes are killing all these people. Like they're killing them.
Hmm.
Like Batman, you don't throw people off buildings and they go, "Oh, I'm fine." No, they don't fucking have broken legs. They are dead, and that is it. You punch them in the face with those fucking gloves, they're dead. But it like they maintain the illusion, like, "Oh no, he's just subduing."
He's sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. Now talk. Um. Anyway, we're done with Logan. Mad Max, I have an amazing. Um. Movie's kind of a banger, dude. It's exciting.
Mr. Tom Hardy, dude.
Not because of him. Actually, I think that a lot of the props should go to the guy. He's from X Men too. He plays Beast in X Men. He was with Jennifer Lawrence for a long time. Sprays his mouth with
Ugh.
goddamn spray. He's from like Australia or some shit. The one that's driving the car and shit. Anyway, just the way that's shot, like the whole like caravan driving, that the way they had to shoot that was just crazy. And uh, what's her name is fantastic from South Africa, Charlize.
Yeah,
She's
Miss
amazing.
the room.
I think it was actually
Ben,
nominated for Best Picture or something, which is just like
we saw that shit in theaters with Ben, and the only thing that I can like 100% fully remember is just that man. Ben would not shut the fuck up every time he saw the guitar dude on the fucking truck.
do you do a lot of pointing and slapping of your elbow? That kind of seems like it would be a Ben move.
He was just laughing. He's doing his little fucking Ben laugh.
Yeah, I know. The movie's great, which is kind of weird. Like I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. That chick that was in Transformers was in it. She was the one with the baby, and then what's her name was in it too. She was in X Men as well. Lenny Kravitz, Zoe Kravitz. She was in it. Um, they kind of like so. You know how like they always feel like aliens have to be green. I feel like they feel like future people have to wear weird clothes. And I feel like Mad Max Fury Road did like weird clothes and weird people like right for like this dystopian future. And it didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like weird or disingenuine or I just would like to see an alien that doesn't have to be a weird color. And because like that's what it's come down to be like our audience is like, "Oh yeah, It alien cuz green." I hate that. Did you ever watch that fucking show on Sci-Fi? They had a video game
Uh,
where they had like just even whiter people who are aliens and god, what was that piece of shit? It was shit. It doesn't matter, but like it was like even more campy level of how they were doing it. I hated it. All right, you've never seen Memento.
if not,
Once again, another Christopher Nolan movie that has a gimmick. This gimmick works pretty well, but the story without the gimmick is just okay. So it's amazing because of what it does, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. There's not a lot more to talk about, but you should watch the movie. It's well done. The Irishman, did you see that?
nope. I just know that it was extremely long and kind of pointless.
Hated it. Um, it's a nice movie for Robert De Niro and the boys to do at the end of their careers, and I know that it's probably I think it was a passion project for Scorsese. I think Scorsese is probably the most overrated director of all time. I mean, like Raging Bull is supposed to be spectacular. Departed, I like, and I like it a lot, but it is overrated. Wolf of Wall Street is very good. I feel like what it was just a movie that turned the excess up like to 1,000. And the first time you watch it, you're like, wow, this is insane. He's just doing coke and blow, and he's fucking these chicks, and it's so cool. And then the second time you see it, you're just jaded. The Irishman, they have some cool things. Like it's based off of the "Do You Paint Houses" book by the actual guy, the Irishman. Painting houses is just means you kill people. You like shoot blood on their walls. That's painting houses. There's some cool references, but it's just like supposed to be this big epic about people who just in the end just weren't that interesting to have like a 3+ hour movie. I watched it at work. It sucked. I like actually was bored at work. Like this was supposed to be passing my time. It didn't do that. But some people probably feel differently. Oh, have you seen There Will Be Blood?
No, but you fall asleep every time you try to watch it.
I have literally tried to watch this on a million different occasions and have fallen asleep every single fucking time. I don't want to put it. I'm going to put it in just have not seen it because I don't know if I actually have seen it from beginning to end. But I drink your milkshake is one fantastic fucking line. Whoever wrote that, you get a bonus. Bridesmaids. I put it in great. There is one. So I don't know if you know this, like about me, but I do not like embarrassing situations, especially if it's on in movies and stuff. And there is one point where she and Rose Byrne are going back and forth trying to like one up each other to see who's like her best friend, and it makes me so uncomfortable. It makes my skin crawl. I had to leave the movie theater. I stood up and left the movie theater. I was so uncomfortable. But it's funny though. It's kind of just basically female hangover, you know, kind of crass humor, but it's funny.
Mm.
You don't feel the same way?
I don't think I've ever actually seen Bridesmaids.
All right, I put it in good. Wolf of Wall Street. Talk a little bit about Wolf of Wall Street for me.
Uh, Margot Robbie's fully naked in it, and that makes me happy.
Great, in the great category. Um, the movie's pretty good, and that definitely helps. But like I said, it's all about the excess, right? It's all about the crazy lifestyle and stuff. And
I read that they actually told Margot Robbie that she didn't need to get fully naked for this movie, and she said it's what the character needs, and she did it. So,
well, I wonder because she was literally not in anything I was aware of before that. If that helped, like if I was a casting director, I'd be like, yeah, I think I could find a spot for you somewhere. Yeah, it was probably Harvey Weinstein though. So Um,
Yikes.
well, I don't know. That might have been a Weinstein movie right there. And he was definitely, she was definitely in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is Quentin Tarantino was well known for always doing Harvey Weinstein movies. Like he always was a partner with him. It's funny, like it's not funny, it's horrible, but Harvey Weinstein, they made a bunch of a bunch of things that they said about him, and Quentin was like he would never do that, and then literally like 2 days later, he's like, okay, so maybe he did that. Um, Get Out.
It's overrated.
Here's the thing.
I think you can put it in great.
Here's the thing with Get Out. Very uneven movie. First half is really, really good. It's creepy. It's weird. It does a really good job of thematically talking about how, like, even look at this this poster that you have here. It's like a black versus white thing. Like the whole movie's point is just so well handled by Jordan Peele. Like, the like wanting to go into a black person's body. It's like the fascination with kids in the suburbs of listening to rap music, acting like they're from the streets and stuff like that. Like we have this fascination with black culture, but we don't want to accept them for who they are, right? Like as white folk or mainstream media or whatever you want to call it. And Jordan Peele, it's like the definitive like great take. Like this is a great artistic take on those issues. It just is an uneven horror film. I
feel like
thought
the
that
ending where they're basically
the
the
science was
ending is
stupid.
what kind of ruins it. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're putting this cap and we are transferring brains. I don't know. It just felt very robot-y and I don't like it too much. But the movie as a whole is decent. What's her name comes out as an excellent racist. Brian Williams' daughter, she's a creepy bitch at the end of it though. You like I look at her and I say, yeah, you are racist. Even though in real life I think she's pretty liberal. I'm gonna be honest with this movie. I flirt with masterpiece for Old Boy. I have never
It
been.
is.
I haven't been duped like that in a while.
It is absolutely probably the most fucked up movie I've ever seen
I
in terms of what they do.
I love, and let's not talk about the ending because it'll ruin it. But I love
Yeah.
watching this movie with a friend and then getting to the end and just looking at them while I wait for them to realize. And you just go, oh.
Yeah, it's not okay. Not okay on probably the most highest of levels. Not okay.
And he kills those guys with that hammer, which is pretty cool. It's just like a really good like he's got the person who made the movie. I have no idea what his name is, but he's holding the entire deck of cards, and you never have any idea what he's got in his hands. He's like, what am I watching this for? What is happening? I just saw him kill people with a fucking screwdriver. He was a drunk bastard at the beginning. For some reason, he was put in a jail cell for like 15 years or whatever the fuck. I'm so confused what's happening. And then the end comes, you're like, oh my God, why? Why did this happen to me? And you're just like, oh God. And then it's got a kind of, and I don't know if you remember, it's got a kind of Inception-esque ending too, where it leaves you like you're not really sure what happens to our boy. And like,
Well, I know what happened to him. That counts.
yeah. So Old Boy is amazing, I think, and I borderline on masterpiece because I don't think I've ever seen another movie like that. Like in my life, I can say that for sure. Unless you're talking about the American version. Which, once again, Elizabeth Olsen is nude if you're interested. You do the Margot Robbie, Elizabeth Olsen back-to-back Pornhub run if you want. What do you think of Scott Pilgrim?
I think the first time I watched it, I was just like, who the fuck cares? What the fuck? Like, I just, like, cool.
I
like,
think
it's the
that
kid
movie.
from Juno.
I think that movie came out ahead of its time.
I really do agree.
I think like the whole comic book kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
It like kind of predated when it should have come out.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think the video game, like, they came out with a video game, like, and I'm pretty sure it came out like years after the movie came out because like the movie I think gained popularity over the years.
Can we talk about? I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like just like the most secretly sexy. There's something about her
Isn't
that's
she
just
like
like.
low key old too?
I think she's almost 40.
Like
Yeah, I mean she's been around a
yeah.
long time. Let's see,
Hmm.
Mary. I mean, do you agree with me, right? Like I'm not
Yeah,
imagining.
she's very pretty girl.
36. But she was indeed in Gemini Man, which actually that movie I will say was not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I'm not saying it was good. It just wasn't like steaming
Gemini
pile.
Man?
Yeah, it was not
Oh, it
steaming
was
pile.
bad.
It was not as
No, that
no
was a bad movie. It was not good.
no. Like, so I have a thing where if I go into a movie thinking like, oh my god, this is gonna be fucking horrible, and then it's like serviceable, I go, like
Okay, and how did the CGI face of the Will Smith clone treat you?
not very good. Um,
No,
but like I went
no.
into 47 Ronin, like, oh my god, this is gonna be so bad, and it wasn't that bad. It really was
I've
not
tried to
that
watch
bad.
that movie 3 times and I've cut it off after 20 minutes every time.
It's not
Can't
that
do it.
bad. It's really not. It's got some decent CGI. It's good battle sequences. It's fine. But we're not. We're talking about Scott Pilgrim. Chris Evans was in that. There's actually some big stars in it too. But it's got it. It once again, like where Lady Bird and Budapest don't really do quirkiness right. I feel like Scott Pilgrim kind of did quirkiness right. You know. Scott's not really a
I
nice
guess
guy though. He shits on what's her name, something Cho, Margaret Cho, and then. But I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She does crazy things that people do. There's something about weird hair colors that gets me too, but like, you know, I feel like there's daddy issues potentially, and I don't want to. It kind of sounds stereotypical or bad, but there's always it's an edgy decision, and usually edgy things means you want attention, and attention comes from deficits in other places, you know. But there's something to say about cool hair colors, just like in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. She does a lot of different hair colors. But anyway, um, Ex Machina. You want to talk about Ex Machina?
I fuck with this movie.
I
I've
feel
only seen it once.
I feel like okay. So
I
my
think
let me tell you just a story here. My dad used to go with my grandpa to a bakery, and they get a loaf of bread, right? And one time, my dad went in the back of the bread and ate out all of the middle. Okay, and so my grandpa went to go eat the bread. He took a knife and it just went straight through the bread, and it was nothing but the crust. And he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he beat my dad's ass. And I feel like Ex Machina is a really pretty loaf of bread, but once you get your knife into it, you just got crust. It's not. It's just like I feel like what actually happens in this movie.
uh I
Like
mean
he goes into the house. He's supposed to like talk to the AI. The AI manipulates him, traps him inside, and then she gets away. But like, so what?
she gonna be a person outside now, mate.
Like, it's all because he wanted to fuck a robot, just like me and Wally, fucking whatever Eva. But
Yeah, her.
I just her, yeah, a lot of fucking robots. But I just don't feel like, just like so
I feel like
what?
the
So
story
what?
moves well. It progresses. Like
But
it
like,
doesn't. It's never so
the
slow to where you're
thing
bored.
that pushes it forward is you're like, what is up with Oscar Isaac? What is he hiding? He's kind of creepy. It just turns out that he's not as big of a genius as he thought he was because he got tricked by a fucking robot who apparently has feelings. I guess that's what the thing was like. They were trying to test whether or not the robot had feelings, but it turns out she does. But her
Interesting.
feelings are not. Do I love this person or do it's just I want freedom. I want the fuck out of here. Ah, great, I guess. I don't know. It's just it's not
Um, since we kind of went over the ending, anyways, I will say that there is a hole in that ending.
for
Where
Ex Machina.
like yeah, like the doors are locked or some shit, and when the power's out, the doors can't be opened or some shit like that.
Okay.
Even with the key card, I forget. They explained it in the movie, and then they do the opposite at the end. So
You think that there's any number of people like 30, 40, 50. There's a lot of people who read scripts
mhm.
before they go out. You think that they'd be like, unless they had a good reason, I don't, unless or they thought they could fool the viewer.
I'm okay
Um,
with this movie being great. I think it's amazing. I like it a lot.
I
But
I will stand against that. I'm no. I will like when it comes to restaurants, which we've done, or video games. You know, I'll need some leeway. I'm not doing a lot of leeway with these movies. I don't think Ex Machina belongs on the same level as some of the ones over here. It's definitely not once in a
mm,
lifetime old boy head ass or
mm-mm.
Memento or Donnie Darko. Those are just one in a million. Um, I think Kill Bill is amazing though. That 40-minute fight scene with Oren
Part
Ishii
two,
and
not on here.
her crazy
Nope.
88s and what
I was asking if part two was on here, and it's not.
is it not?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, part two would just be good probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where it feels like you took the first one and just like added some water to it. Like you're like a little bit low, or you stole alcohol from your parents' cabinet and you want to make it seem like you didn't. You just added water. That's Kill Bill Volume 2. Um,
For me,
I
this is another one of those movies where if you watched it when you were young, watch it again.
yeah. Also the yellow, the aesthetic is cool. The whole outfit and everything. But I just realized that I literally have a metaphor for any situation, and if you'd like to hire me to give you a metaphor, it's $10 an hour. But by an hour, I mean literally, I'll come up with it in 2 seconds, then I'll be an hour. But
Mm.
Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino stole a lot from with Django from westerns, and from Kill Bill with like Asian cinema. But it definitely is a pretty remarkable feat. Just a lot of cool stylistic things he did. Um, I think who was I talking with? It might have been Wayne or you guys, where I was talking about like the shadow effect. She has that fight with the lights out, which is really cool. Um, it's just a really quite fine movie. Very, I want more of these kind of like action movies that have ultra violence, kind of like Raid 2. Um, I need more of those in my life.
Yeah,
Um,
the raid's coming up too. It's on here.
yeah, it's at the end, I think, right? Oh, there it is.
Pretty close. Yep.
Oh, I'm assuming you haven't seen Moonlight.
I have not. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Um, Moonlight. I saw this movie. I think the year it came out, and it's certainly like I like the movie a lot. I don't want to say like love. I like it not for necessarily even the content, but for the things it did. Like Dallas Buyers Club did the same thing, where as a heterosexual white male, you don't see a lot of movies that make you reconsider or your thoughts on how people live like that don't aren't like you, and like you see the intersectionalities of a black gay man trying to hide his, and also not only those two things, but also a black gay man who's also like becomes when he's older machismo, but you see through his life that all he's ever done is getting shit on by other people, and he is trying to find himself. He experiments with being gay a couple times, but he's trying to hide from it, and by the end, he ends up in another man's arms crying because he's always been trying to hide who he is. And Dallas Buyers Club's the same way. It's just so, you know, because of the places I've grown up, I haven't really had to spend a lot of time around people who are gay or are really different from me. And the gut reaction of seeing things that you don't understand is to be uncomfortable with it. And I think one of the crowning achievements of this movie is it made me really uncomfortable with the way I saw the world. And it made me reevaluate myself and the way that I value things. And I think that's really the greatest achievement of this movie. Do I think it's necessarily like the greatest movie ever made? Maybe not, but it certainly says something that I think very few movies do, and for that, I think it's really good. And I'm a better person for having watched it, and thought it made me think about myself and why those things made me uncomfortable and the biases I had. Um, and so it just gives you and shows you that every chance is a moment to improve, even if it's just something stupid like a movie, right? Um, but I would suggest that everyone watch it, especially if you haven't. I don't know. You need to kind of like look deeper into yourself and think about things like that. But both Dallas Buyers Club and that movie are uniquely peering into lives that I never would have understood or even thought to understand, and the challenges that people were grappling with their sexuality or even um, their lot in life in terms of race and socioeconomic deficiencies and issues with equity, and all these things are really poignant topics in 2021. So um, I would suggest people visit it, but I can understand why it's gonna be a hard watch for people who don't understand and people who don't have to grapple with those topics regularly. Anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Didn't see that one either.
I actually hate it. Um, they basically put um, Margot Robbie in the movie just to have Margot Robbie. The story is kind of like we wanted to do it and we didn't care if it really ended up being a cohesive or intelligent narrative. I think I'll just put it into don't care. I don't think it's fair to put it in hate. But still, I mean, it's such a like monumental task of making this movie, and the shooting and some of the scenes are so good, but it's hardly even a movie, in my opinion. And also not only that, but then you got to sit here and waste my time making it 3 goddamn hours long, man. You know, like Quentin, you've made some of the best movies in the history of cinema, and this is a passion project. And just like with Irishman, um, uncontrolled passion is definitely a bad thing. It's out of control. It's out of control, and maybe you did some cool things, but didn't need to be 3 hours long. Didn't need to waste my time. Didn't need to see it. I saw it 2 or 3 times in theaters, and I liked it less every single time. So there you go. All right, Rush and Coco. Rush first.
It's nothing more than people being competitive and pushing themselves to like the brink to try to beat each other.
Oh, so it's amazing because it's exactly like Whiplash.
No,
That was a joke.
not necessarily. I mean, it's just.
That's a joke. It's a joke.
I mean, it's got good acting. The other dude, other than what is that? Chris Hemsworth or Liam?
Definitely. Chris.
He is a very unattractive man, and every time I saw him, I just kind of wanted to punch him in the face. But
more or less unattractive than the guy from Under the Skin.
yeah, you can't even ask that question. I mean, he's got disabilities. It's not okay. But
it's not really a disability because it doesn't affect his ability to like live life. It's just that he's
deformity.
Yeah, he's ugly and weird looking, I guess. Also, are you talking about Daniel Bruhl? Because he's in a lot of stuff. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's an ugly guy.
I think it goes back and forth though, like to where like it shows like the original drivers in it.
Oh.
Yeah, the original Nicky Lauda. Not a good-looking guy.
Oh. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, they just push themselves to the brinks, and then Nicky Lauda just ends up crashing, and like they push themselves so far that like he crashed and burned. And I might be in the wrong movie, but I'm pretty sure like it was like raining or it was wet, and he told them like I don't want to race. Chris Hemsworth did, but the other guy was like, no, fuck you, we're racing. So
you sure
pushed himself to the brink, and then
The Art of Racing in the Rain. It's a book.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Well, and then it causes himself to crash and burn, and based off of real life events. And I think somebody else actually decapitated themselves at that race. To be honest.
Well, that's no good. Where do you rank this?
Where do I rank it? I mean, it was entertaining.
I have it in good. Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, I mean, I think it teeters with great, but it's not for everybody. It's just me. I'm fine with it and good.
Well, if you said yeah, then I guess that's. Coco. I'm in love with the Coco. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah, I liked this movie more than I thought I was going to, honestly. When Kirsten and I watched this, it, like, I don't want to like spoil anything, but
I'm
like,
I'm not gonna see it. Don't worry.
okay, well,
Is she actually dead? Is someone
no,
dead?
it's
Am I dead?
no. I don't even necessarily remember how he gets teleported into. Uh, I think he like follows them and somehow gets into like
The
the death, like over the
underworld
barrier,
or
and
something? Okay.
yeah. But basically, like he meets this fucking poor ass skeleton dude, and he's just trying to like use him to
Dude,
get back to the real world,
how
and
the hell you be poor in hell?
it's just how it is, dude. There's they're not in hell. It's just the afterlife, dude. And he gets like this dude's just trying to like use this kid to get back or some shit, and uh, the kid's just trying to find his real dad, and he thinks it's like
You're
one of the greatest
not
guitar
my
players
dad.
of all time, and
Carlos Santana?
no. But turns out the Porby dude who's been following him is actually his dad, and he's the one who wrote all the music that he thought that the greatest guitarist basically of all time was. Like it's a cool, cute little story. Um, and I think it's great.
Um, we're gonna treat Let the Right One In as Let Me In, and I think it's great. I don't think it's a movie that's gonna sit there and knock your socks off or anything or like that. Like, but it's enjoyable. It's certainly enjoyable. Have you ever seen that one, Colin? Let Me In.
Yes,
I
with
think
Chloe
that
Grace Moretz.
yeah, it's a good little movie. She's a vampire. That kid. I can see his stupid ass face. Looking like fucking that kid in Game of Thrones who'd be sucking on titties and shit. Head ass. He's got a three name, but he makes for a fucking creepy ass kid. He's weird looking and I don't like him. But it's a good movie. I don't know. I never saw the Danish one though, so I can't speak on that. No Country for Old Men.
Name is
Um,
Cody Smith McPhee.
yeah. No Country for Old Men goes into amazing, and this is Mark's favorite movie, another Coen Brothers movie. Um, there's a lot of parallels with like the Western motif. Even I believe this poster is modeled after another poster from a Western. Mark, if I had him here, could definitely give you the whole rundown. He could talk about this movie for hours and hours and hours. I was not the biggest fan, but when you hear someone talk and break down movies so passionately, I tend to believe him. Especially, I mean, like, I don't know if In Bruges would be put in as a masterpiece for anybody else other than me, but it is to me, and I could talk to them about that movie forever. And he could do the same for No Country for Old Men. I think it'd be in the amazing category. I had to watch it again for sure, but Javier Bardem is certainly fucking creepy as shit. Do you have anything to say about No Country for Old Men?
I don't think I ever saw it in full, and I probably do too. I always get that one and There Will Be Blood. Like,
Mixed up, yeah, I did at a time,
yeah.
but they're very different movies. I'd much rather watch No Country for Old Men.
Can we talk about this next one? About for when it came out
Okay,
and what it did, rather
when
than
it came out, you saw it in IMAX or the biggest theater or whatever. That shit was a
yep,
masterpiece. You see that
yep,
anytime after the first time you saw it, and that thing's good.
yeah. It did so much and looked so amazing for
Pandora did.
when it came out.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But if you missed that opportunity to see it when it came out, he's right. It's good or great. I still think it's great, but
I'll put it to
it
great.
it does it does lose a lot if you didn't see it when it first came out. Because my God, was it amazing seeing that shit
Th-
in IMAX.
This guy I used to work with at Publix.
Oh,
We were in an aisle, like working or whatever. He's like, "Hey, you like Avatar?" He was a weird dude. Um, and I was like, "Not really." And it's like he said to me, "Is it because you realized that it was basically Pocahontas?" And that basically changed the way that I looked at it forever. So I didn't like it to begin with, and then I just kind of was like, "Oh, gross." But yeah, there you go. We put it into great, and I probably wouldn't even put it there, but there you go.
I am concerned that they're making like four more movies at the exact same time right
Yeah.
now, though. It's gonna be weird.
I think one was supposed to be out for like 60 years now, so By when I mean the next installment. Pan's Labyrinth. Where do you have this shit?
So I saw this in theaters when I was really little, but it does like just like the whole Fantasyland aspect and like how creepy the shit is. Like the dude with the fucking hands, Mitch McConnell head ass.
Yeah,
Um,
face ass actually. It's definitely a
yeah,
face ass, not a head ass.
Mitch McConnell face ass.
Did I
Like
show you that or did you show me
it
that?
was.
I think I showed you that.
Uh,
I don't know.
I think I showed you that.
I don't know. You got to do a deep dive in your fucking
Um,
logs.
it's again subtitled completely. If you're not into that, I mean, like I still would watch it. I'm not into subtitled movies, but my dad took me to this as a kid. I don't know why, because I was pretty fucking little. It's creepy. Like, it's some creepy shit, but I think it's like in the middle of like World War II or some shit too.
Yeah, there's
And
Nazis.
this little kid goes to like this fantasy world. I don't know if it's her way of escaping. I don't remember too much about it.
The Nazi that's like over them was at one point voted one of the worst villains of all time, even though he's like not
Oh,
even really in the movie. I haven't seen it, but in defense,
let's.
just to get to insert this, in defense of subtitle movies, there are a million movies that are fantastic, especially, um, you know, Italian movies, French movies that are very good. Should not give up on it just because it's subtitled. One of my favorite movies of all
Mhm.
time, Life is Beautiful. If you haven't seen it, Colin, you got to see that one too. It is probably a top 5 movie of all time. It is in Italian. He's Italian for sure. Benigni. Absolutely fucking amazing film. It might even be like over masterpiece for me, whatever that would be. It's fucking just insanely good. But don't let that deter you, especially if you know it's good. Two things that I think scare people the most. Well, three: black and white, subtitled, and foreign. And those things shouldn't scare you, especially if you know that they're well heralded. Although things like the
Mhm.
bicycle thief could easily scare you. I think is that Fellini? I don't know, but um, yeah, because the bicycle thief is all three of those things. I think black and white, foreign, and subtitled. So,
Yeah.
so Pan's
I like
Labyrinth.
this movie. The visuals. I have it in great. The
Yeah,
visuals and
I put it three.
everything are very good for its time.
All right, we are wrapping up, Kyle. We are down to the last six. Little Miss Sunshine
Mhm.
is also yours.
I don't necessarily remember all of it. I just remember,
It's
I think
quirky,
was this
so
Chloe Grace? This was Chloe Grace Moretz when she was
no.
really little, right?
Abigail Breslin
Breslin, that's right. And
with chubby ass
I don't want
cheeks.
to be mean, but my lord, was she a ugly little kid?
Don't
Okay.
worry, she only got uglier. Sorry, Abigail. It's just true.
Um, but it's a cool little story of the family trying to fucking like make this little kid's dream and do all this shit because she really enjoyed it.
Even worse, I think
Um,
isn't what's her name? My dad says she's the ugliest actress in the world. The one from Hereditary
oh yeah.
is the mom. Toni Collette. Yeah, yeah, she got a weird face too. Yeah, we're just putting it into good.
Uh,
Is it
I
better?
think it's anybody like in our age range isn't going to love this movie by any means. Uh,
I might
I
be
think if
able.
you're a little older, they'll enjoy it a lot more. But um, it's got some sad moments in it too. There's a kid who wants to be nothing more than a pilot. Like he's been fucking wanting to do that like his entire life, and he's
Actually,
colorblind.
every person in this fucking movie is weird looking. Phil Dano. God damn, everybody's weird looking. Isn't what's his name in this one too? The guy who used to do Talk Soup. Um,
Hell, it's talk soup.
you never saw Soups? The Soup on E Channel was like basically Tosh.0 before Tosh.0.
I
They
don't
just
think
took
so.
clips from the internet and made fun of it. But what's his name from Community was on there after. Um, you remember the movie Stuck on You with Matt Damon? He was the other guy that was stuck on Matt Damon. Do you remember that stupid
I
ass
don't think
movie
so.
where they're combined twins? It's really bad.
No.
Greg Kinnear, yeah. Anyway, I think we've talked. Is it good or great or good or great? are good or great?
I haven't good, but again, I think if you're a little older, you'll enjoy it a lot more.
What makes it good for old people or people who are older?
I just think it's just the type of story, like something that
Family.
older people would enjoy more. Yeah,
Okay.
family oriented type shit.
Okay. You ever see Mulholland Drive, Colin?
I have not. It's on my list as well.
Okay, so
Hmm.
what was the movie you said was the Under Your Skin? Watch some David fucking Lynch shit, bro. That shit'll put hair on your fucking nipples. It's so fucking weird. I'm gonna put it in great because I haven't seen it in a while, but it's just like a bunch of weird shit. I think she falls in love with this chick. It's David Lynch's stories are just like, what the fuck is going on? You never know what's going on. It's weird. Fucking Blue Velvet. Fucking Wild at Heart. Fucking Twin Peaks, of course. He just makes just crazy shit. Lost Highway. Um, Eraserhead, fucking Eraserhead, Con, you want to fucking see some weird fucking shit? Watch Eraserhead. You'll just be, what the fuck is going on? His fucking kid turns into a fucking bird, fucking demented monster thing in a crib, and he's just in a. It's basically takes place in one room for like 2 hours, and he's just like slowly losing his mind. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's a weird movie. Naomi Watts used to be a looker back in the day. At one point, she always gets a lot of people confuse her with the other Nicole Kidman all the time, but now she's very cheeky. She's just all cheeks now. I don't know what happened, but she was a very beautiful woman. But we wasted time, and time wastes us. So, Skyfall, you've never seen it, right? Is that correct?
If I have, it was I don't remember much.
It is the best James Bond movie of the newest James Bonds. Nowhere close. Quantum of Solace is the worst. It just makes no. It's a fucking horrific movie, and Spectre is just like pointlessly terrible, and I hate it. But Skyfall is very well done, great action, exciting. I can't remember. Is this the one where he's got the fucking helicopter at the fucking Mexican parade thing? That might be Spectre. I don't know, but that's litty. They did some great work on this. I think the 007 movies next to the Mission Impossibles are John Wick. They're some of the best action movies being made. Even the other one with Tom Cruise, where he's
Mission, yeah,
no,
Mission Impossible, and then
it's a name too. Jack Reacher.
yeah,
Jack Reachers are very
yep,
good too. They're all very exciting. Did you see Into the Spider Verse?
I did, and I was not expecting to like it, and I actually really did.
Amazing. I hear
Uh,
nothing but everyone saying that it is just like ridiculously good.
it was really good. Um, uh, I just don't know if I can put that into amazing with all those other movies that are out there. So I would put it into great. I mean, for an animated movie and everything that they did, there's some good comedy in there. Spider Pigs in there.
Ooh,
Uh,
is it because it's like
it's
an
quite good,
alternate
dude.
reality or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. There's like fucking 30 Spider-Mans at the end. No.
Pretty awesome. Okay, we got two left. Okay, I don't understand why everybody loves the first raid better than the second one. Second one has a better story. It's the derivative. It's just like a undercover cop in a crime syndicate, which has been done a million times, mostly by fucking Martin Scorsese. But the action in the second one's better. Story's better. Better characters. Everything's better in the second one. They had a lower budget in the first one, which doesn't mean it's worse. But it is just balls to the wall from minute one to minute 120 or whatever. It's just fucking everyone's dying and getting killed in crazy ass ways and explosions and kung fu, and it's goddamn the best. The second one's better though. I'm gonna put it in great because I think the second one's better.
They are probably the best fucking martial arts movies out there.
I think
The
like
two of them.
Ong Bak and Ip Man are up there too. And then if you go back and watch some of the old school Bruce Lee, um, there's a number. Jackie Chan was making some good stuff too. Um, Jet Li, obviously. I'm trying to think of. There's a bunch of old ones from like the 70s that were Hong Kong. Crazy thing about Hong Kong is they did no stunt doubles. They didn't really even do like safety. They were actually hitting each other with bottles. They were falling off cars. All that shit is real, and that shit is fucking crazy. And I think this movie was probably made in Indonesia because they didn't have any laws to stop you from fucking literally killing people. So, hot shit movie. Great.
The broken door kill was probably the greatest kill
Where
I've
he,
seen
he
in a movie in a
slams
long
his head
time.
on the fucking door fucking thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could see a classic oh going on. I didn't
yeah.
do it very well, but you do
Yeah.
do exactly that. Toy Story 3, Colin. Last but not least. It fits in great perfectly. Look at this.
Yeah,
Or
well, that's
in
not where
good.
it's gonna go.
Oh, you think it's bad? What about Lotso? You don't fuck with Lotso
No,
Huggenberg? Oh.
no, it's not a good fucking movie. Toy Story 1 was fucking amazing. Toy Story 2 was, great.
I've seen both
Uh,
of them a million times. So
and
shout outs
then
to
Toy
Jake.
Story 3, they waited, what, 12, 10, 12, 15 fucking years. And they're like, wow, let's just continue. And uh, I don't know. I did not much care for it at all.
So you don't
It's
care?
just, it's in good.
Okay,
But,
sweet.
I mean, it's Pixar, and they don't make, like, I haven't seen a Pixar movie where I haven't been able to finish it. Like,
Just like that. That's my thing. Well, you're not the only one.
it's just
Back-
mediocre. And
Thanks
4
for the
was
follow, bud.
awful. Toy Story 4 was absolutely awful. So,
Drop me a line in the comment section. Let me know what you're up to, what you're doing. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so this is going to be a quick run through, just, kind of look at it. We went through it exhaustively, so I don't think that we really need to spend too much time. But now is the best time because we get to go. Et Liek Mek. Et Liek Mek. Et like Mek. I don't. Et Liek Mek. I'm trying. We're gonna look over the community ranks though. Colin,
links.
don't look at it. Do you have some in the front? Okay, this is okay. This is what we got. Dark Knight, Inception, Wall-E, Parasite, and Joker are
Which I think we had,
Joker.
one of those? Just Joker, yeah.
Yeah. I have an ad on my screen I can't fucking get rid of, so there we go. Ooh, I did it. What's your preferred name? Etlick? Mech? 5353? We have Django Up, Inglorious Bastards, Avengers, Interstellar, Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Batman Begins, Toy Story 3, who Colin hated that movie, Baby Driver, Wolf of Wall Street, Endgame, Iron Man, Lord of the Rings. We did have Whiplash and La La Land there. Social Network, gotta see that one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is very overrated. Spirited Away, amazing. Her is an amazing. Lady Bird, amazing. Memento. I don't understand how Arrival could be there. Casino Royale is definitely flawed. So let's get to the middle ones. Aren't Don't Care, hated it. We have let the right one in. Michael Clayton. Before Midnight, Before Sunset, Bridesmaids, In Bruges, and Don't Care. Old Boy, Don't Care. Why?
Boston Translation is good.
How is it just good? Moonlight, just y'all fucking racist. That's fucking bullshit. Donnie Darko, just good. I don't think these people actually watch these movies. There Will Be Blood, good. Well, I put it in Don't Care, I think, or didn't watch it or some shit. Inside Lewis Davis, Don't Care. Wow, Raid, Don't Care. They really didn't give a shit. They didn't give a fuck balls about dick. That's crazy. I'm gonna look at a couple more here, just for the. It looks like this person just liked every comic book movie there was. He did not watch many of the other movies. Where the fuck?
I mean, I've seen 3 of the movies.
Yeah, I gotta go back because I couldn't find. It basically was. How about this person who says, "Where the heck is?" Okay. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just no, man. Just no. And then So Good, Oh My God, Iron Man. Very good. The Avengers. How is Iron Man better than the Avengers? I don't understand, dudes. Spirited Away and the Lord of the Rings movies were boring. Favorite movies? Wolf of Wall Street is a masterpiece. There's a huge block of haven't seen it. All right. So I am probably going to end the stream, which is kind of unfortunate because we have 6 people in here. But I want to be able to make sure that the stream ends so I don't have to edit the video because I'm fucking lazy. And I can put it on YouTube. Unless you guys want to... there's 6 people here, but I don't know how many are actually like new or want to discuss or anything like that. Let's see what it says we got in here. We got Ryan, Michael, Colin, me, I assume, and then the new guy. So we don't need to discuss, but I will put it up on YouTube. Look for it up there on my channel. Okay, we will see you next time. Thanks, Colin.